Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Janai and I'll be your yoga teacher for today. This class is for October's new moon in Libra and the solar eclipse. So the three themes of our class are going to be intention because of the new moon, heart openers because it's in Libra, and change because of the solar eclipse. You can begin in a comfortable, easy seat, so that can be with your legs crossed or maybe sitting on your knees or with your legs straight out. Wherever is comfortable for you, where you can sit up nice and tall. And you can start with a deep breath to center yourself here in this moment. Maybe you choose to close your eyes. And while you're here, set an intention for this practice today. You can think of this as something you would like to achieve or work towards by doing this. And new moons are always great times to set intentions for your life. So you can set an intention for the next month until the next new moon, or maybe the next 2 weeks until the full moon, or maybe just an intention for today even. But when you spend time thinking about why you want to do what you want to do and what you would like to gain from it, you're intentionally making decisions through life. So just spend a few more breaths here to think of your intention for today. This could be to express gratitude, or to practice consistency, or to try something new. Whatever it is, just spend a few breaths here. All right, you can take a deep inhale. Imagine inhaling all of the intention you just set, and then open mouth exhale. If you close your eyes, you can begin to flutter them open. And when you're ready, you can make your way to a tabletop position on your hands and knees with your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Spread your fingers wide, press into the tops of your feet. And we'll move into a cat-cow flow. So on your inhales, you'll drop your belly towards your mat, point your tailbone and your gaze up. And on your exhales, round through your spine, point the crown of your head down towards your mat. And then you can flow back and forth between these two poses at the pace of your own breath. Take maybe 1 or 2 more rounds of cat-cow. And when you're ready, you can meet back in a neutral tabletop. We'll move into puppy pose, so keep your hips aligned over your knees and walk your hands forward, leading your chest and forehead towards your mat. You can bring your forehead to your mat and just extend your arms ahead of you. Aim to draw your armpits down towards your mat. And just spend a few breaths here. And just take a few breaths here in puppy pose. All right, inhale and lift your gaze And exhale, shift forward onto your elbows into Sphinx pose. You can spread your feet wide to your mat. Bring your elbows directly under your shoulders. Keep your fingers spread wide. Reach your chest through your biceps. Lift your chin to be parallel with the floor. And breathe. While you're here in Sphinx pose, you can maybe even take a few neck rolls. Alright, you can bring your hands under your shoulders. Keep your elbows tucked in by your sides. You can bring your feet together. And we'll do a few baby cobra poses. So on your inhales, press into your hands to slightly lift your chest into a gentle back bend. And then exhale and lower back down. So inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Maybe try coming into a full cobra pose. Press into your hands. Begin to straighten through your arms. Keep the tops of your legs on your mat. And reach your chest forward in cobra pose. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, lower down and bring your arms by your sides. We'll do a couple of rounds of locust pose. So for locust pose, you can either lift your chest only, keeping your legs on your mat, or maybe try lifting your legs only, keeping your chest on your mat, or maybe come into a fully locust pose by lifting your chest and your legs off your mat. You can also choose to clasp your hands behind your back here. And we'll do that a few times the way we did those cobra poses. So you can start lying on your belly. Inhale, lift into locust. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Great job. Moving into bow pose, you can bend into both of your legs and reach your arms back to grab onto your ankles or your feet with your hands. If this is a bit much, we can do one leg at a time, so you can come to your elbows and then reach one arm back for one leg, and then the other. If you'd like to come into the full expression of a bow pose, reach both arms back for both legs, and then press the tops of your feet into your hands to lift your chest off your mat. Flex your toes, and if you notice yourself rocking back and forth, that just means that you're breathing. Take one more inhale, and then release. All right, if you were doing one leg at a time, you can switch to your other side. If you're doing the full expression of bow pose, we'll do it again. So on your next inhale, press into your hands, lift your chest into bow pose. Take one more inhale, and then exhale and release. Whew. Great job. You can bring your hands back under your shoulders, keep your elbows tucked in by your sides, and we'll shift into child's pose. So press into your hands to lift your torso, sink your hips back towards your heels. Maybe keep your arms extended out in front of you or bring them to your sides. Rest your forehead on your mat. And take a few breaths here in child's pose to counter those back bends that we just did. All right, when you're ready, you can make your way back to a tabletop position on your hands and knees. All right, we'll move into balancing tables. So again, spread your fingers wide, engage your core, keep your back flat, and press away from your mat. Start by kicking your right leg back behind you, flex your toes down towards your mat. And you can stay like this, or maybe try reaching your left arm forward so you're balancing on your right hand and your left knee. Engage your core, flex your toes, and draw a line of energy from your heel through your leg, through your torso, through your arm, and out your fingertips. Maybe in this balancing table, you can try coming into a bind by reaching your left arm back, bending into your right leg, grabbing onto the top of your foot, and then pressing into your hand. Lift your chest. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, release back to tabletop. We'll try that on the other side. So this time, kick your left leg back and reach your right arm forward. Engage your core. Really send energy out of your fingertips. Flex your left toes down to your mat and find your balance. Maybe try coming into a bind by bending into your left leg, reach your right arm back, grab the top of your foot, and press into your foot to lift your leg and your chest. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, lower back to table. Great job. Curl your toes under and shift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths to pedal this down dog out by bending into one knee at a time. All right, come back to a still downward facing dog. Spread your hands wide, press away from your mat. From this downward facing dog, shift your weight forward into a high plank. Engage your core, press away from your mat here. Take one more inhale, and then exhale and take your vinyasa. Lower down halfway, maybe choose to come to your knees, come to flip to the tops of your feet. Press into your hands, inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, shift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Great job. Inhale and sweep your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. And then exhale, step it forward between your hands. Stay on the ball of your left foot. We'll move into a high lunge. So inhale, lift your upper body, high lunge. Maybe reach your arms overhead, bring them to your hips. Wherever is comfortable for you. Lift your chest, elongate your spine. Draw your left heel forwards. And breathe. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, lower your hands down to frame your foot. And then you'll sweep that right leg straight back to a three-legged dog. Inhale, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Great job, we'll do that on the left side. So inhale and sweep your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And exhale, step it forward between your hands. You're still on the ball of your right foot. Inhale up to high lunge. Draw your right heel forward. Keep your left knee aligned over your ankle. Take a few breaths here. Imagine radiating love and light out from your heart here. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, place your hands down to frame your foot, sweep your left leg up and back, three-legged dog, and then exhale it down to downward facing dog. Great job. Inhale and gaze forward between your hands, and exhale, lower to your knees and come to standing on your knees. We'll move into camel pose. So choose your favorite variation of camel pose. Maybe you bring your hands to your lower back and find your camel pose like this. Maybe you reach back for your ankles or your feet in a more deepened camel pose. But wherever you are, lift your chest, let your head hang back, and breathe. All right, from this camel pose, we'll move right into rabbit pose, our counter pose. So you can gently exit this pose. Bring your hands to grab onto your heels, bring the crown of your head to your mat, and then lift like round through your back while still holding on to your heels. Sometimes my back even cracks when I do this, if you just heard, I don't know. All right, and then when you're ready, you can untuck your toes and sink your hips down back to a child's pose. Just take a few breaths here. Great job. You can press back up to standing on your knees, maybe face the long end of your mat. And then step your right foot out to the side with your toes pointing out to the right. Also, be sure your foot is a little farther to the right than your knee, because when we sink our hips that way, you want your knee to come in line with your ankle. So bring your hands to your hips, keep your body facing the long end of your mat. Don't turn towards that right leg. Try to keep your spine neutral instead of letting your hips lean back. And then we'll sink our hips over towards our right heel. You can hold this pose and breathe, maybe add some movement, some rocking. Great job. And then you can straighten that right leg and point your toes towards the long end of your mat the same way that you're facing. We'll move into gate pose. So you can slide your right hand down your right leg and extend your left arm overhead into gate pose. Take a few breaths here, feel that stretch in the left side of your body. Great job. And then you can cartwheel over onto your left hand and extend your right arm over in an extended gate pose. All right, while you're here, you're gonna try to find your balance on your left hand and your left knee and float that right leg just straight out. If you can, lift it. Keep that right arm extended overhead in this half moon pose variation. One more inhale here. And then exhale, lower your right foot back down to your mat. Now you're gonna press into your right foot and your left hand and engage your core to try to lift your left knee off of your mat. So you're really engaging that core here, almost like in a side plank this is. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, lower back down, and come back to standing on your knees. We'll take all that on the other side. So step your left foot out to the side with your toes pointing out to the left. Walk your foot a little bit more forward than your knee. Bring your hands to your hips, keep your body facing forward. And sink your hips over towards your left heel. All right, Straighten that left leg, point your toes forward. We'll move into gate pose on the left. So slide your left hand down your left leg, extend your right arm overhead, and breathe. All right, cartwheel over onto your right hand, extend your left arm over into extended gate pose on the left. And then while you're here, try to float your left leg in a half moon variation. Engage your core, find your balance. One more inhale here, and then exhale, lower your foot. Now you'll press into that left foot and your right hand to try to float your right knee off the ground in like this side plank. Really engaging your core here. I know it's a lot. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, lower back down and come back to standing on your knees. And then you can make your way to a seat. Come to a staff pose with your legs straight out in front of you. Actually, you're gonna bend into your knees with your feet flat on your mat. Lean back on your hands with your fingertips pointing towards your feet. We'll move into a reverse tabletop here. So you'll press into your hands and feet to lift your hips off your mat. Maybe you keep your bottom closer towards your mat, or maybe try to bring the front of your body to be flat, like a table. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, lower your bottom back down. We'll do that 2 more times, and then each time we'll try to kick our leg out. So we'll be balancing on 2 hands and 1 foot. So start with an inhale here, and then exhale, lift to reverse table. Maybe this time extend your right leg straight ahead, finding that balance on 1 foot. And then you can bring your right ankle to the top of your left knee, and then sit into a seated pigeon. Maybe walk your hands a little further back or forward to come into or exit the pose a little bit more. Flex your toes towards your feet. Flex your toes towards your face. And feel that release in your outer right hip in this seated pigeon. With every exhale, imagine releasing anything you no longer need. Maybe thoughts that don't serve you, habits you would like to break, anything. Just imagine releasing it. Also imagine releasing any stress. You hold a lot of stress and tension in your hips. So when you stretch your hips, you should intentionally imagine releasing it. All right, great job. You can slowly exit this pose. Bring your feet back down to your mat. Bring your hands to face towards your feet again. And we'll do that with our left leg. So start with an inhale, and then exhale, reverse table. This time, keep your left leg straight ahead. And then you can bring your left ankle to the top of your right knee and sit into your seated pigeon. Again, maybe walk your hands closer or away to draw your chest towards or further from your leg. That just either deepens or releases the pose. You can flex your toes and lift your chest, reach it towards your leg. And intentionally imagine exhaling anything that no longer serves you. Maybe any worries, doubts, anxieties. Just release it all with every exhale. slowly release from this pose. Bring the soles of your feet back down to your mat. And you can come to lying on your back with your knees still bent. Rest your arms up to your sides with your palms facing down. We'll move into a bridge pose. All right, so start with an inhale here. And then exhale, lift your hips into bridge, engage your core, draw your knees together, maybe clasp your hands under your body, draw your chest towards your chin, and breathe. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, lower down, and draw your knees to your chest, hug your legs, maybe rock side to side. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, extend your arms and legs straight ahead into our final pose, sleeping pose or Shavasana. Completely relax your mind and body. Let your feet splay out to the sides. Feel your legs and back and shoulders and head melt into the mat, feeling supported by the floor beneath you. Roll your shoulders down your back, relax your face muscles, unclench your jaw, remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth, and bring attention to your breath. Let it flow naturally. And we'll practice a heart meditation. So bring to mind a happy moment or experience in your life, recent or past. And in your mind's eye, play out that happy moment for a few seconds and focus on bringing up that happy feeling you felt during that moment. Keeping your eyes closed, continue to stay with that feeling. Smile and relax. And think about this moment and this feeling for a few breaths. Notice if you feel warm inside or like you're internally smiling, like happiness is just radiating from you. All right, take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing life and movement back into your body. Inhale and extend your arms overhead in a long body stretch. And then exhale and roll to either side into fetal pose. Just take a moment to reflect on your practice. Notice if you feel any differently now than when you began. And when you're ready, you can make your way to an easy pose. Sit up tall and comfortably. You can bring your hands to meet in front of your heart. And remember, new moons are a great time to set intentions for your next few weeks. So be sure to set some goals, try new things, anything to kickstart yourself into action, especially with it being a solar eclipse, which is a significant time for change and transformation. You can bow your head. Namaste. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Comment below any videos you would like to see on my channel. I post all types of yoga videos every week. So let me know if there's anything you want to see. Definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any new videos. And I'll see you guys in another video. Namaste.